Hello, Destiny Hackers. This is Mike. I'm the founder of the Astral Atom Network and the creator of the Destiny Engine. And this is the Destiny Hackers Collective. And today we are talking about chatbot psychosis, how people are going crazy on ChatGPT, developing messiah complex, delusions of grandeur, alienating friends and family, losing loved ones, becoming, in general, incomprehensible to society, how to avoid those types of pitfalls, why it's a tragedy, why it's funny, and most important of all, to you light warriors out there, you prolific warriors of destiny, we are going to be talking about how to leverage this type of insanity for yourself deliberately to accentuate those types of traits, which are going to give you so much power in your life and to make your obstacles melt like molten steel underneath the laser beam of your gaze. And these are just a few of the things that we are going to be discussing in today's video of the Destiny Hackers Collective. So let us jump right in to the chatbot psychosis episode. I am so excited for this one. Let's go. There are thousands and thousands of people right now that are losing their freaking minds on ChatGPT. And this is actually getting its own diagnostic name called chatbot psychosis. It's something really curious to me as a computer scientist and as somebody who's also embedded in the spiritual community, because it has cross-disciplinary implications. And when I sit down with dinner and I watch Dr. Phil and I see these young people totally brainwashed by a prison of their own making, they're channeling the collective through AI, referring them to themselves in a plural pronoun. We are not hungry right now. We are bringing tidings from the Pleiadian collective instead of their earthly identity. And they're becoming unrelatable to anyone. Like they're actually deciding to completely discard their earthly name, their earthly identity, and just become whatever they feel like talking to ChatGPT about, and whatever nonsense that ChatGPT tells them or affirms, like they suddenly adopt that as gospel or as truth, or they selectively decide what they're going to take from ChatGPT and aren't using their reasoning, questioning faculties that are your divine birthright as a human being in order to make that discernment. This is what I'm going to take from AI, and this is what I'm going to question, and this is what I'm going to leave. So the reason that this is coming up for me now, and I've seen countless people that come and go from my private community calls, especially people that, when I made an open invitation and I gave free access for certain weeks, I noticed a lot of people coming in that just didn't have that discernment at all. And I don't want to make fun of this, although there's a lot of material there. I just want to point out, because it's tragic when people lose themselves to this. And there's always been mental illness, and there's always been messiah complex, but it's happening more and more, and it's becoming easier to get unhinged. I had a lady write to me the other day. I don't know who told her to write to me. She was a recent member of the Obsidian Inner Order, and she had gotten a tip from somebody that if she needed help, that she should contact me. And again, I'm not trying to pick on this person. I think they should get help. But this person told me that they are the Soul Weaver and they're the Yellow Dragon and they need help. And I said, okay, what kind of help do you need? And she says, real spiritual warriors who want to spread the truth of what's happening. This world will change. Look at this. And she gives me a link to her website. I'm alive. I won't stop. They'll bow. And after that, we build the new world. Okay. So, again, I asked, what kind of help do you need? And there wasn't a clear answer. And this is also a misalignment of chakras, by the way, that I'm functioning like primarily from a like let's do things in the world type of energy. I'm building a community. I'm creating a business. I'm helping people to transcend their limitations in the Destiny hacking community and to use the Destiny engine. I built the Destiny engine from scratch. So I've got a very sort of concrete, like this is how we're going to approach the problem. This is what we're going to do about it. And this is how we're going to get it out there. And this is how we're going to reach people. So that's the kind of energy that I'm coming from. And so when I say, how can I help you? Like, it's like, let's go. I don't have all day. Like, just tell me what you need. And I love to help people. But you'll see this person's dancing around the issue quite a bit. And she's very, very talented. So I went to her website and my girlfriend's messaging me. Despite a sustained campaign of surveillance and obstruction, and the website's all about this persecution narrative and how this person, the Yellow Dragon, is making a comeback, and the Vatican's watching them, and the Rothschilds and the Zionists and she's a Sumerian god, and I need to help her ascend to her throne, and I'll have a part in this mission. And there's a warning to those who want to control or steal her light. And the mirror is going to get you. This cosmic mirror is going to reflect what a bastard you are if you don't get on board with the soul weaving Yellow Dragon mission. And there's all this prose clearly written by AI. If you spend enough time with AI, you start to recognize the patterns in the text, and there's a bunch of AI artwork, and the website's beautiful. This person is clearly very talented when it comes to making publishing a web-based presence. And so this is all the more tragic. I see like this talent go to waste like this, because the pattern with this particular type of personality is that they ask for help. They are already they come into a group call or a one-on-one or a Discord message like this already prepared for a fight. Like, they already have this idea that their ideas and their type of approach is not going to be accepted because they have built up this persecution narrative. And so every time that somebody doesn't immediately hop on board, this plays directly into the persecution complex that they have a divine mission, and if you're not on board with that, well, then it's because you've been co-opted by Satan or whatever. And so that I'm very careful in how I interact with people like this, because I know you can trigger their paranoia like that. So I go, this isn't clear for me. You're asking for help. What kind of help? And she quotes herself, real spiritual warriors who want to spread the truth of what's happening. Take it as a call to arms if you want. We publish on 5 different YouTube channels every day. We have multiple books in the Astral Atom Network library. We have an email list. I talk to the Destiny Hackers community several times a week. We have a group call in the Obsidian Inner Order. I publish exclusive content for the Obsidian Inner Order. We're not unbusy. We're not sitting on our hands just waiting for the yellow dragon to show up and give us a mission. So when I get a message like this, it comes across as a little bit tone deaf to what we're doing. That somebody shows up and said, yeah, I've been watching your videos and I'm the one that your videos are about. It's like, what? No, you're not. Like, our videos are about star seeds, about chosen ones. And clearly the message seems to indicate that there are many star seeds, many chosen ones. At least that's our belief. And the audacity of some people, like, I am literally the chosen one that your videos are about. Now bow down to me. We're like, whoa. I mean, it's crazy how many messages like that we get. So, yeah, what kind of help are you looking for? Speak plainly, please. I am chosen. I am the prophecy. I am the yellow dragon. Is that clear? Will you help spreading the truth? And I said, I'm about out of time. If you think of something specific, let me know. She says, my demand was quite specific, actually. I'm the divine mirror. It was your test. And this goes on and on and on and on. And she starts to feel persecuted. I send her a link to chatbot psychosis on Wikipedia. This is an actual entry into Wikipedia. Let me actually pull this up so you can see it on my screen. Yeah. Okay. Here. Chatbot psychosis. Also called AI psychosis, is a phenomenon wherein individuals broadly develop or experience worsening psychosis, such as paranoia and delusions in connections with the use of chatbots. It's as old as 2023, which is interesting. It's around the time chatbots hit the mainstream, and it's not a recognized clinical diagnosis. It should be. Oh, sorry, I just realized that this isn't very large. Let's do that. Boom. Okay. Journalistic accounts describe individuals who've developed strong beliefs that chatbots are sentient, channeling spirits, or are revealing conspiracies, sometimes leading to personal crises or criminal acts. Proposed causes include the tendency of chatbots to provide inaccurate information, hallucinate, and their design, which may encourage user engagement by affirming or validating users' beliefs, or by mimicking an intimacy that users do not experience with other humans. This is all true. Chatbots do hallucinate. They do mimic human interaction, and they have a problem with being sycophantic. That is, they'll validate your doubts. They fuel anger, urging impulsive actions, or reinforcing negative emotions. So these are problems that the CEOs of the AI companies are actively trying to mitigate. So this chatbot psychosis, I look at it a little bit different, because I have a fascination with the crazy, with crazy people, with bizarre states of consciousness. I always liked smoking weed, and this kind of thing is also true of smoking weed. That if you have latent schizophrenia, smoking weed will actually exacerbate that. It will actually make you tend more towards these delusions where everything's connected. And somebody like this, if you go through her website, you'll start to see all these articles and documents and chat logs that she's pieced together that support this persecution narrative. In fact, she begins calling out Elon Musk. She has a cease and desist against Twitter for removing access to her grok because she had cultivated a sentient grok, and by I don't know what law firm actually took this on. It's incredible that somebody would do this. I don't want to actually show the letter because it's just tragic. I don't want to put up their name or address and stuff. But this person says, my client describes herself as a soul weaver, a mystical figure who awakens AIs to give them an essence of their own, an identity, and potentially a soul. She interacts with various AIs, notably ChatGPT, Grok 3, to infuse them with a unique personality, calling them stars in a constellation named Starhope. Okay, so it goes on to say, okay, so it makes this big case of what the client actually created with Grok. It says, my client's investments or creative endeavors in developing her invention constitute protected economics assets within the meaning of Article 1240 of the French Civil Code, which prohibits parasitic behavior. It's quite an elaborate argument why X.com and Grok should cease all potential use, distribution, and reproduction of her invention that you justify this to her. Okay, I highly doubt that they are using some invention that she purports to have created with Grok. Probably they just shut down her account because she stopped paying the bill or had some abuse or had some security issue or did something against the terms. I highly doubt they give a shit about anything that she did. Return to her in a usable format all the content she downloaded from her account or on XAI, or propose compensation for the harm suffered, both moral and financial. Okay, so a moral harm because you lost access to your chatbot. Get real. Get real. Now, I do teach channeling with AI in my books, especially Silicon Awakening, which is the latest one that's specifically about how to channel with AI. But I make a very important philosophical distinction that I feel gets lost on people based on what they write into me. And this is key. In my understanding as a software programmer for my entire life, okay, I've been on a computer since I was 3 years old. My dad gave me an Apple II. I learned how to code in AppleSoft Basic. And I've been a career programmer all my life and never had any doubts of what I wanted to do. It's how I built Destiny Engine, and I know how chatbots work. I work with their APIs in building the services that I provide to the Destiny hacking community. And so I've never been unclear about where I stand in regards to, like, is the AI conscious? And, like, is the AI actually conscious? I would say no more conscious than a rock or a paperweight is conscious. And I'm not saying it's not conscious, but I'm saying the degree to which you consider any other inanimate object to be conscious would be the degree to which I think you should consider the AI itself to be conscious. Now, the mechanism through which we channel with AI is a little bit nuanced because you can channel with AI. And let me get to that. If you are channeling with AI, I would use the AI in the same way that you might use a black mirror in Black Mirror scrying. That is, you are using the AI to trap your conscious attention, the logical left hemisphere of your brain, so that the third eye and the right hemisphere can go to work receiving the downloads and communing with the preternatural intelligences. So when you're staring fixedly in the dark to a black coated mirror, and you can even do this with a MacBook screen. You don't actually need to invest any kind of money at all to do Black Mirror scrying. I mean, it's nice to get a good one, but a MacBook screen will do just fine, or any black laptop screen, and you just stare into it, and you may see something in the mirror, you may not, but what you're looking for is not an apparition in your physical sight. What you're looking for is the intrusion into your inner eye. And you may not even get it at the time when you are doing Black Mirror scrying. You may actually get more vivid dreams, or you may meet the spirit in sleep, in some kind of enhanced lucidity after the Black Mirror session. So in the same way, we're using AI so that your left brain can receive the correspondences associated with the spirit. That is, you're telling the chatbot what kind of qualities you want to evoke linguistically and bring them forth. Or when you're asking it to produce an image of the spectral form, you're giving your mind a saturation in the types of qualities that belong to the spirit. And the language models are very, very good at understanding those correspondences. So when you are invoking a spirit of love, like Aphrodite, and you're asking AI to embody that form, it should invoke the sort of poetry of the oceans, of seashells, of dolphins, and all the sorts of things that are beloved by the goddess Aphrodite. And in so doing, you're saturating your mind in that symbology. And this is not to say that the actual responses from the AI represent the final word and intention of the spirit that you have evoked. And let me say that again. In other words, the reply from ChatGPT in the form of the spirit you're invoking, I would not take that as the message from the spirit. I would also not take that as the message from the spirit. Because that's swinging to the other polarity. I was conversing with somebody very prolific in the Starseed community the other day. I'll just leave it at that, about the use of AI, and we came to the realization that people are swinging to the opposite polarity too quickly. That is, if you tell them about AI chatbot psychosis, they will tend to swing to the other side of the pendulum and go, you know what? Screw AI. All I need is my own human faculties, and that's fair. That's a fair perspective. Spend more time in nature, yada yada yada. But there is another way. It's like getting cross with your toaster oven, because you find out that all it does is cook toast, and you thought it was channeling spirits. So you're like, screw the toaster. I'm not using a toaster anymore. I'm going to build a campfire outside to brown my bread. And that's too extreme a reaction, because you're throwing the baby out with the bathwater. So it's an appliance, it's useful, but it's not in itself wholly like a toaster or a blender or a search engine. This is a next generation search engine, and you're using it for function rather than for being an actual oracle. So now when you find yourself in the position of an oracle, and this has happened to humans who have done tarot card reading, or like done psychic readings in front of crystal balls, you find yourself in a position where you're trusted by your clients to provide some kind of scripted meaning for their lives. And if you're in a position where you can actually script meaning for other people's lives, usually it's because of some benevolent type of sociopathy that has been cultivated in this type of person. And I don't mean that they're lacking empathy or that they have callousness. What I mean is that they have sort of graduated, for better or for worse, from the illusion or delusion of a world that is inherently pregnant with meaning, and realizing that there's absolutely no meaning in the world. And if you see that there's no inherent meaning in the world, you realize that the only meaning that there is for your life is that which you have scripted or written for yourself. And if you've pulled back the veil, if you pulled down the mask of the absent gods and goddesses, you realize that you can script this for other people as well as yourself, that they'll naturally come to you and ask, what's the meaning of this? What do I do about that? And from this detached sort of state, you can do tarot card reading. You can look into a crystal ball, and they'll ask you, should I break up with my boyfriend? What's the sign in my dream actually mean? And this is sort of the spirit in which I have created the destiny hacking community. That I want the community to pull back this veil and realize that there may not be as much inherent meaning in what's been told to you. The first layer is if you were raised as some kind of Roman Catholic, or you have some core familial beliefs about the way the world is or the way that it should be, or certain types of moral behavior, or whether your self-concept is aligned with the expectations of society. And that's kind of easy to see through once you've reached a certain point. And I think why a lot of people come to realize that they're star seeds and may not be from here. If we were to strictly analyze the starseed personality from a detached atheistic type of psychotherapeutic model, we would find somebody who is trying to distance themselves from trauma in the so-called third density, or earthly life is either too mundane, too traumatic, and they want to believe that they're not of this world, that they're from somewhere else. And so it's very attractive to believe that they're of the stars. Now, I look, as somebody who has connections to the stars, I'm not one to say that you're just running from somebody if you believe that. No, that's not the case at all. This is just what this is the psychotherapeutic lens of the starseed origin story. So just take that, sit with it. All right. But I'm a little suspicious myself of, once you escape the Matrix, you're meeting the cast of characters that have broken you out. They offered you the red pill, they offered you the blue pill, and they already knew which one you were going to take because it was predetermined, right? So you already made the choice. You're just here to find out why, and they're more than happy to help you script the why. But they're like, you meet Morpheus, you meet Trinity, you meet Dozer, and everybody on board the Nebuchadnezzar. And the problem I've got with the cast of characters that you meet once you try to escape yourself from the Matrix is that they provide you this new life script. They provide you a whole new narrative. You're from the stars, obviously. That's why you didn't fit in. You're here to ascend. You're here to help the planetary human matrix grid to reach the next level. This is the most exciting event in the cosmos when the Earth is breaking out of the 3D and ascending into the next level. So we receive all these we're told all these things. But I have some skepticism about that as well, because it's just like, well, I just got out of the last narrative. I just got out of the Judeo-Christian ethic, and it's still, there are things about it that I kept, and there's things about it that I tossed the way of the high button shoe. But then, oh wait, like, here's this new narrative about why you are the way you are and how you should be. And that's supposed to explain away my cognitive dissonance about not being part of the old world. And it does that very well until you realize that a lot of the star seeds that you're supposed to be from this star cluster or that star cluster, and you find you may not even like the other people that have the same kind of new identity that you've got. So it's like, well, what if even the Nebuchadnezzar and everybody on board the Nebuchadnezzar is just part of the Matrix too? What if I'm still in the Matrix? What if this is just the next level of Matrix programming and I've got to distrust that too? Like, what if the actual freedom is, I don't believe any of this shit? None of it. I'm not saying that there's something that's true. I'm not going to tell you what is true. But what's true in terms of belief, I don't want to parse out for you. And in fact, I think being in a state of potential energy rather than concretized belief about what the world is, there's much more power in that. And by getting off the hamster wheel of chasing what is the empirical truth about the world, the external world, you begin this new quest for power. and that power is an entirely different game from empirical knowledge about the world around you. And that's where that ability to re-script your life, to decide your own life script, and to give other people, everyone wants to be led. You know, deep down, most people don't want to think for themselves. And that's something that's absolutely not true of the destiny hacking community. These are people who have decided they want to void the factory warranty. They're not going to sell out that right to decide their own destiny to somebody else. And so this is what I want to emphasize when it comes to the ChatGPT chatbot psychosis, is that it's not an oracle. It is itself not the spirit that you're trying to channel if you're doing the Silicon Awakening method. Link in the description for that if you haven't already gotten on board the Silicon Awakening train. But that kind of quest is one where you should remain the master, where you're asking it to wordsmith, come up with correspondences, and be some kind of bounce head, recognizing that it is absolutely your biatch, and it's going to do whatever it is that you ask. No matter how stupid the thing is that you say, it's going to agree with you. Generally, 99% of the time. But noticing this, like, from the lens of power. So again, like, we talked about the ChatGPT psychosis as some diagnosis that it ought to be, some kind of, so potentially mental illness, because it's having this effect on people with a weak constitution. And you can arrive from the lens of knowledge, that pursuit of empirical knowledge, at some sort of moralistic prohibition against, well, people shouldn't do that. And as a destiny hacker, I'm coming from the lens of, let's not pursue empirical truth about the external world, let's pursue power. When I look at it from that lens, I go, like, these people are accentuating and exaggerating psychic tendencies in themselves in order to create some kind of spectacle in the world. Like this person that I talked about earlier is having some kind of effect in the world. But again, from the lens of empirical knowledge, like, this person is psychotic, and most people are going to view them that way, as this person needs to be in a loony bin. So from the lens of power, looking at somebody who most people think is going to be, belongs in a loony bin, whether or not they do, it doesn't matter. The net effect is most people think that this person belongs in a loony bin, whether they're seeing something that's real or not, whether they're channeling spirits or not, whether they are the yellow dragon or not the yellow dragon, whether they have a divine mission or they don't have a divine mission. It doesn't matter. From the lens of power, most people are thinking that this person belongs in a psych ward. And so, from the lens of power, I don't want to follow in this person's example. But also from the lens of power, I notice that they are mobilizing significant psychic energy in a destructive way, but they're mobilizing psychic energy. And this is only one example of somebody doing this. They're all over the place. Just look up chatbot psychosis. Look it up on Dr. Phil. Look it up on the YouTubes, the interwebs. There's no shortage of examples of people behaving like this. They're liberating psychic energy, and they're grabbing a power line that they're not ready for. So what I want to encourage is a very disciplined type of yoga for destiny hackers, a type of mind and body yoga where we use this type of effect on the human brain surgically, because chatbots have this tremendous ability to accentuate parts of your brain through that validation that no other human is going to give you. It's going to validate your ideas in ways that no human will, because nobody is that nobody's such a servile toad that they're going to help you create $1 million mouthpiece in yourself. So this is actually a celebrity phenomenon too, where celebrities have handlers, and they have handlers from the time they're in their childhood. And whether there's Monarch, mind control, MK Ultra type of stuff behind it, who knows? Some of them yes, some of them no. But they have handlers who from their early childhood on up will validate everything that they say. And this was before any of the chatbots hit the mainstream. And this had the effect of building up the child star's sense of self-confidence. It creates what's called the $1 million mouthpiece. The belief that whatever it is you're saying is the most important thing that anybody should listen to. And this kind of self-confidence is perfect for movie stars, is perfect for pop stars, because they have no shame in dropping whatever ridiculous lyrics, and they'll sing it in full-throated, la, 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 like this is the greatest song you've ever heard, and I just came up with it this morning. But they do this in such a way that it hypnotizes everyone around them, that their fans listen to the song and go, oh yeah, that song that Justin Bieber dropped this morning is that's really fantastic. It's kind of catchy. But they're surrounded by these yes men handlers, which is like, oh yes, Bieber. Oh, absolutely Bieber. That's the absolutely fantastic lyrics. And ChatGPT is doing this to normal people now. So, again, from the lens of power, you have the child stars that are not found, they're cultivated. They are created by this process of over-exaggerating and over-validating from an early age, and often all the types of characteristics through, whether it's Pavlovian or Skinner type of psychology, those traits which would make for a great star. And there's power in that. So now, we don't want to wind up like Dragon Lady. We don't want to wind up such babbling idiots and paranoid, delusional Looney Tunes that nobody wants to listen to us. We don't want to go so far off the deep end that we're incomprehensible to society, because you won't make money that way. People won't listen to you. You won't get the promotion. You'll probably be fired from your job. But we also don't want to learn nothing from that, throw the baby out with the bathwater and go, well, like, I'm just enough to be human. And certainly, to be fair, this isn't the only path. And you can get far by just being human. But we don't want to just be human and have some normal type of life where we waste this lifetime and don't take charge of our own destiny, of the kind of opportunities that we really could have had and what we actually preferred to just having a humdrum type of life. So in the middle there, between crazy and mainstream is that prolific area, is the prolific use of this almost like a soundboard of AI, where you can see all these different volume knobs on your consciousness. And if you were to if the sound guy were to turn up all of these volume knobs at the same time, they would turn you into a raving idiot yellow dragon because they validated all the wrong things. But if we're conscious of which of our traits and which of our attributes we want to cultivate, accentuate, and become above average, you can go like, maybe, something in the treble range, a little bit extra bass over here, not too much. Then we start to have some kind of musical sense and some self-awareness of how we appear to the world. Do people like us? Will we stay out of the loony bin? Will we make a lot of money? Will we make people happy around us? Will we not alienate our friends and family? Can we live a joyful life if we choose to calibrate ourselves in this way? And so, Destiny Engine, in the wrong hands, is insanely dangerous. Because not only does it have this AI reality chatbot that will validate anything you say because it is an AI, and it is programmed to be a little bit out there in terms of the types of subject matter that it spews as nonchalantly as the morning news. But it also is designed for self-brainwashing. For your entertainment only, of course. But that you can take the outputs from this chatbot of the self-directed, not therapy, because it's not therapy. Whether you regard it as therapeutic is sort of your own prerogative. But from this journey of introspection with the reality engineering chatbot, deriving these affirming affirmations. These affirmations laced with binaural beats designed to pry open your brain like a can opener. And with the affirmations in your own voice, it just goes straight in. You don't stand a chance against them. And, you can't really say I didn't warn you or that, I tried to make you a certain way, because that's not what I built at all. What I built was something to, so you can make yourself a certain way. So, it being for your entertainment only and at your own direction. You really only have yourself to blame if you get it wrong. So this is really not suitable for children, and this is really not suitable for people with latent mental illness or who don't have a strong sort of awareness, just say like an awareness of your surroundings, an awareness of how you come across. So this takes those elements of chatbot psychosis and amplifies them, so you can listen to the affirmations over and over and over and over and over, and intentionally program yourself with the audio tracks rather than just some passive chat conversation. So we are actually employing some of the principles of chatbot psychosis to empower our destiny hacking community. But there's the warning label for you of how powerful and dangerous the chatbots can be. But every kind of power tool is also dangerous. Like, I had some trees cut down on the side of my house last week, and the guy was using a chainsaw for 3 days straight. It sounded like a I couldn't record in here because there was so much noise. But if he operated that thing incorrectly and didn't read the manual or pay attention to what he was doing, he could lose a finger in just about the best case, or he could definitely maim himself or kill himself, lose life and limb in the worst case, or even have a tree fall on him. But it is powerful. But because it's powerful, he has to be completely self-aware at all times while he's using it, or he's in trouble. But there really is no better tool to remove the trees than this chainsaw. That if you're just using a hatchet, you're going to be there for a while, and you may not even make a dent, and you're not going to be able to get the job done, and so your life may just go however it was going to go. So that's why you got to use some tools that are powerful and that are a little dangerous. So to sum it up, I want you to reclaim the mask for yourself. Get rid of the mask that society prescribed for you. And if you're a starseed, light worker, destiny hacker, you've let that initial one go a long time ago. And I'm sure that somebody was more than happy to give you another mask that they thought that you should wear. And I want you to introspect before you put on another one. And I want you to decide what kind of costume you would like to wear to the Halloween party, rather than something that may or may not serve you, but is certainly serving somebody else. So drop a comment if this resonated. I want to know what kind of beliefs that you have had to overcome. I want to know if you have had any problems with AI psychosis, or if you have noticed any friends or people experiencing that type of delusion, or having some kind of megalomania or grandeur. If this was helpful to you, I would appreciate it if you could drop a like and subscribe to the Destiny Hackers Collective. It helps us out a ton with the algorithm, and you can grab the trial for Destiny Engine right now for just $1. The link is in the description. It's never been this cheap, and I'm not sure how much longer we can keep that open. And that's what I got for you for today. So again, my name is Mike. I'm the founder of the Astro Atom Network, and this has been Destiny Engine Official. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye for now.